Everyone, my name is Alexa and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing ACE International History Unit 3.2. The big question for this review is why did the League of Nations fail to keep peace in the 1930s? So let's get into it. The League's failure, especially to secure disarmament, was highlighted in the World War II outbreak. The League prioritized reduction in armaments, which followed Wilson's 14 points. European leading powers, except for Germany, committed to an arms reduction, but didn't end up keeping it, which is highlighted in the World Disarmament Conference, which occurred on February of 1932. The conference failure was mostly due to bad timing, since countries thought of the Depression, which created social economic issues, concerns about Japan taking over Manchuria, and Hitler's rise to power, which made countries realize that they actually couldn't reduce their armaments and had to maintain them. It also led to some countries even increasing their armaments and therefore leaving the League, like Germany and Japan. To begin with Germany, Hitler argued that they should increase their armaments for self-defense. France rejected Hitler's request because they were fearful of Germany, and Hitler ended up withdrawing Germany from the League and the Disarmament Conference. This was when Adolf Hitler gave the speech called the Proclamation to the German People, which occurred on March 16, 1953, and was evidently biased, since in this proclamation he was boasting about Germany's support for the League, even though they just left the League. Japan also left the League because they also felt like they had to increase their armaments. Now, moving on to the crisis in Manchuria, this raised international concerns, and China told the League. The League ordered Japan to leave Manchuria, but Japan said no, so the League appointed a commission, Lord Lytton, and representatives of Germany, the USA, France, and Italy to investigate the issue. Japan continued its takeover in Manchuria, and the commission concluded that Manchuria should be returned to China. Japan continued invading anyways, and the League did not act. Then we have the crisis in Abyssinia. So before we get to Spain, let me explain what happened in Abyssinia. So in Abyssinia, Italy took over Abyssinia, and Abyssinia appealed to the League. This was seen as a major member of Italy taking over a minor member of Abyssinia and taking advantage of them. The League condemned this, and Britain and France had a biased support for Abyssinia because they were scared of Italy. So Britain and France supported the League's decision to impose economic sanctions on Italy. However, these sanctions barely affected Italy. Then the Hoare-Laval Pact was to settle the partition of Abyssinia, and Italy gained effective control. Public opinion in Britain and France did not agree with this. The Hoare-Laval Pact destroyed the League, and Italy ended up withdrawing. Britain and France were selfish and lost credibility. Then France felt betrayed by the Anglo-German naval agreement, and Britain saw France as useless. Now, getting to the crisis in Spain, the League was not willing to intervene in helping Spain during their civil war. They created the Non-Intervention Committee because they stated that since there was an issue only happening in Spain, it didn't involve other countries. Meanwhile, the war was a proxy war and did involve other countries. The League just didn't want to get involved. Italy and Germany then violated the committee terms of the Non-Intervention Committee by helping Franco's nationalists by supplying them with troops, money, and other things to make them win. The League remained inactive, and Britain and France could not go to war because war costed a lot of money, and the Great Depression just recently occurred. Then Soviet Russia helped Republican Spain, but Franco still got the victory in 1939. Now, going to Japan's invasion of China, Britain and France could not give Japan economic sanctions because they were trying to avoid a war, because a war was costly at the time, so they couldn't take military action. The dictatorship was stronger than the League of Nations, and Britain and France decided to pursue the policy of appeasement. Now, during this time period, there were also changing attitudes of the major powers towards the League of Nations. Firstly, the League was losing effectiveness and losing power. Italy never fully committed to the League membership, and Hitler resented the League, which led to his withdrawal in the disarmament conference. Japan's democracy crash also led to their withdrawal from the League, and the USSR became a League member. But everyone remained paranoid about the USSR, and they didn't want to be in a league with them. Now, Britain and France defended the League, and they thought mostly in their own national interests, which was a major weakness of the League. Members got angry with Britain and France due to their inactiveness, and the League ultimately couldn't keep international safety and peace. Britain and France no longer felt committed to the League, which led to the League's downfall. So, that's all for Unit 3.2 of ACE International History. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for Unit 3.3 review.